Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into, well, an industry most people probably don't think twice about: industrial climate control and temporary heating.
Right. It's one of those things that just exists in the background, but it's completely essential. It keeps the whole economy moving, especially hmm, when things go sideways.
Exactly. And if you're, say, a contractor and a surprise cold snap hits, your first thought is probably just, I need a heater, get me the biggest one you have.
Yeah, the assumption is that it's just a simple transaction. You rent a box that makes heat.
It's all about the BTUs or maybe who has the cheapest rate.
But what we found in the sources is that the real value here isn't the hardware at all. It's built on something completely human.
You mean things like empathy and super fast logistics?
Absolute empathy and engineering that solves a crisis. I mean, we're talking about a client's problem that could literally cost them millions. It's a whole different philosophy of service.
Okay, let's unpack that. I want to start with the biggest thing, the highest stakes topic, which has to be safety.
Oh, for sure.
Before you even get to capacity or what kind of fuel it uses, the sources all say the number one factor is the environment, the space itself.
That's it. It's what we're calling the golden rule of heater safety.
Mm.
And getting it wrong is, well, it's really dangerous. It all boils down to one question. Is your space open or is it enclosed?
And that question leads you to three totally different types of technology.
Exactly. Let's break them down.
Please, because the jargon here is critical.
So first up, you have your direct-fired heaters.
Mm.
The easiest way to think about this is like a giant industrial gas stovetop.
Okay, I can picture that.
The flame heats the air directly. So that means all the byproducts from combustion, the fumes, the exhaust, it all gets mixed right into the air that's being blown out.
Whoa, so if the fumes are going right into the air, the safety rule has to be pretty strict.
It's absolute, non-negotiable. Direct-fired heaters are only for open, well-ventilated construction sites, places where those fumes can just dissipate safely.
So outdoors or in a building that's basically just a skeleton.
You got it. You can't, under any circumstances, use one where people are working in a sealed-off room. The carbon monoxide risk is just way too high.
Which brings us to the systems you do use when people are there. You're finishing an office, setting up an event tent, that kind of thing.
And that's where indirect-fired heaters come in. This is basically a massive, portable version of your furnace at home.
So the key difference is how it handles the exhaust.
Precisely. The fire, the combustion, it all happens inside a totally sealed chamber, a heat exchanger. All the exhaust goes up a separate pipe, a flue, and is vented outside.
And the clean air just gets blown around that hot chamber.
Exactly. So what comes out is completely safe, clean, dry heat, no fumes.
So the rule for these is pretty clear then.
Yeah, these are the required and safe choice for any enclosed space, period. If people are there, this is what you need. They're usually diesel-powered and can be huge, trailer-mounted units putting out millions of BTUs.
And then there's the third option, the one with no fire at all.
The electric heater. Zero combustion. Zero fumes. It's the purest and simplest way to get clean heat indoors.
And we're not just talking about a little space heater you'd have under your desk.
Not at all. I mean, they have small ones, sure, 1.5 kilowatt units.
Yeah.
But they also have massive 150 kilowatt systems.
And 150 kilowatts that's a whole different league. That could power, an entire floor of a building under construction?
An entire floor, or keep a room full of sensitive servers from getting too cold? It's serious power. And just by asking, is this space vented? The provider is basically acting as a safety consultant, saving the client from huge liability.
That one question already tells me this isn't just a simple rental, and this is where it gets really specialized, right? We're moving beyond just warming a room.
Oh, way beyond. Now we're talking about solving these incredibly niche technical problems that can stop a multi-million-dollar project cold.
So purpose-built machines.
Exactly. Take the ground thaw heaters. Their one and only job is to beat frozen earth and help cure concrete when it's freezing outside.
Which, in a place like Utah's Wasatch Front, is a constant threat in the winter.
It's a project killer. If that frost line sets in, you're done. Construction stops. So this machine, it's not really selling heat, it's selling time.
It's selling certainty against delays and penalties.
Right. And the really brilliant thing about these units is their tri-fuel capability. They can run on propane, natural gas, or diesel.
And why is that such a huge deal?
It's all about flexibility on a chaotic job site. Say your natural gas line isn't ready, or diesel prices suddenly spike. No problem. You just switch over to propane and keep working. No shutdown, no delays.
That's a huge logistical advantage. Okay, what about the towable flameless heaters? That seems A little redundant. Why flameless?
It's for those really harsh remote environments where you might not have power, but you absolutely cannot have an open flame. Think oil and gas sites or maybe mining operations.
So it's about mitigating fire risk.
Huge fire risk. They use a different system like a hydronic or oil-based fluid that gets heated and then circulated to generate the warmth. You get the safety of indirect heat, but in a super rugged portable package.
And the sources mention they're quieter?
Yeah, the sound abatement is a big deal. For one, urban construction sites with strict noise rules, but also for, say, a film set or near a hospital where you can't have a loud engine running all day.
And the power on these is huge.
I mean, it's staggering. From around 400,000 BTU up to 1.2 billion.
Billion. With a B, what on earth needs that kind of temporary heat?
You're talking about massive industrial applications. Maybe you're bypassing a factory's main boiler during a shutdown or heating a huge mining complex in the Arctic. It's truly mission-critical stuff.
It's incredible. And then you have the smaller, more precise stuff like the central heating units.
Right, and those are all about speed and precision. They're compact. They use these quick connect hoses. You can set up a really sophisticated distributed heating system inside a building very, very quickly.
And this whole ecosystem, it's not just about heating, is it? Especially in a unique climate like Utah's.
Not at all. You need total environmental control. So the service includes temporary power, fuel delivery, and a whole suite of equipment for drying and air quality. We're talking industrial air scrubbers and these specialized things called desiccant dehumidifiers.
Okay, what's a desiccant dehumidifier? How's that different from the one I have in my basement?
Your home unit works by cooling the air to condense the water out. A desiccant unit uses a chemical, like silica gel, to literally pull the moisture from the air.
And that matters because?
Because it works really well even at very low temperatures, where a normal dehumidifier would just freeze up. It's critical for things like drying out a building after a flood in the winter or helping special coatings cure properly.
So if you connect all this equipment and all this expertise, you start to see why this has to be a 247 operation.
Absolutely. The clients who need this stuff, they're in high-stakes industries where failure just isn't an option.
Let's run through a few of them because that really highlights the value.
For sure. In construction, it's obvious. You're not just keeping workers warm. You're making sure a concrete pour cures correctly so the whole structure is sound.
A bad cure means tearing it all out and starting over.
Massive delays, massive costs. Then you have data centers. For them, a portable AC isn't a luxury, it's a life raft. If that room gets a few degrees too hot,
The servers shut down. You're talking about catastrophic data loss.
it could be a global business crisis in minutes. Look at healthcare. They need incredibly precise temperature and humidity, not just for patients, but for expensive medical equipment and to meet standards.
Or disaster response. After a flood, the clock is ticking before mold sets in.
You have to get dehumidifiers and air scrubbers in there immediately to save the building. And then you have the public-facing stuff events, hospitality. You can't host a big corporate event in a tent in Provo in October without a reliable heating solution.
Right. Every single one of those examples screams stress and high financial stakes for the client.
And that's the common thread. Which brings it all back to the core value they're actually providing. Speed, availability, reliability. It's all captured in their motto, which is, when others say no, we say yes.
A motto like that is only as good as your logistics. And you found an amazing anecdote from a Utah rep, a guy named Mike Miller, that just, it perfectly shows this in action.
It's a fantastic story. It really shows the difference between just renting equipment and being a crisis management partner. So picture this. Salt Lake Valley, dead of summer, big heat wave.
Okay.
A large property owner's made AC system for the entire building completely fails, just dies.
Oh, no. The tenants must have been going crazy.
Total panic. And they don't just need 1 or 2 units. They need an enormous immediate fix.
How big are we talking?
The team assessed it and realized they needed 35 separate 1-ton portable AC units, plus all the power distribution, all the ducting.
Yeah.
It's a huge job.
35 units. Just getting those across town is a challenge. What was the timeline?
This is the part that's just mind-blowing. From the moment they got that desperate phone call, they had all 35 units and all the gear delivered to the site within 2 hours.
2 hours through Salt Lake traffic. That's unbelievable.
2 hours. And the entire system, all 35 units, powered up, ducted, and running, was fully installed in about 4.5 hours.
Wow.
The owner was facing a full-blown tenant rebellion, maybe even lawsuits. That speed, that execution, it didn't just cool the building, It saved his business.
So the product they sold wasn't really the 35 AC unit.
And not at all.
Yeah.
The product was certainty. It was peace of mind in the middle of a complete crisis.
Which brings us back to where we started. This is about a human philosophy, not just machinery. Tell me more about this empathy, not equipment idea.
It's the core philosophy that this rep, Michael Miller, talked about. He said the key to their growth is absolutely empathy. It's about really truly listening to a client when they're at their most stressed.
When their multi-million-dollar project is literally frozen in place.
Or their server room is about to melt. You have to understand their core problem, their fear, and solve that. The machine is just the tool you use to do it.
So you're not a rental agent, you're a partner in mitigating their biggest risk.
Exactly. And that means providing a customized service. You don't just drop off the biggest heater you have. You design a system that's tailored to their specific needs. The ventilation, the noise, the fuel source. That level of detail only comes from decades of experience.
And they have to be able to deliver that local, customized expertise across a pretty huge area.
They do. I mean, they're operating 24/7 across 9 states: Utah, Arizona, Colorado, Texas, North Carolina. Think about the different climates and challenges there, from a blizzard in North Dakota to a heat wave in Houston. The only way to scale that is by making listening the top priority.
This has been, frankly, a fascinating deep dive. We learned that you absolutely have to know the safety difference between direct and indirect heat. That's non-negotiable. We learned about these amazing specialized tools like ground thaw heaters that solve very specific, expensive problems. And I think most importantly, we learned that a business based on heavy machines can actually find its success by focusing on empathy and rapid custom solutions.
It really makes you rethink things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It leaves you with a question to chew on.
Yeah.
If this industry, one that seems purely transactional, succeeds by prioritizing the human side of a crisis,
Right.
then where in your own industry or even your own life are you maybe mistaking a simple product for the complex human-driven service that's actually needed to deliver real value?
That is a great thought. So if you have heating, cooling, or air management needs, whether it's planned or a complete emergency, you need to call the experts who get it, who listen first.
For service across their entire 9-state footprint, the number to call, 247, is 833-342-4455.
And for anyone specifically in the Utah area, there's also a direct local line for that immediate response. That number is 385-269-0694. Get the right solution right now.